Hello and welcome. We want to start with 3 truths for today. And the first one is the fact that there's no doubt there's a direct relationship between the quality of a country in education system and the level of prosperity where the nation can able to enjoy. The higher the educational system, the greater chance they get for prosper. The second truth is the fact that tertiary institutions then are the core engine for drive the quality of education in any nation. Truth number 3. 92% of students when they graduate from high school in Africa not able to make them to university or tertiary institutions. This means of every 10 Peking we graduate from high school, then pass them WASSCE exams, now only 1 they able to go to university. We space there for a university. We can able to afford the money we require for go university. If then 3 things here so not true, can Africa or even Sierra Leone continue to maintain with traditional tertiary educational system? Or is it time for reimagine a new tertiary educational system? All this and much more on today's show. But first, your moments with Joe.
Hi Joe, my name's Obafemi. I was working but not anymore. I spoke to my wife to start business, but she's not interested. Now she spends her time going from one friend's house to another. What should I do?
Well, Obafemi, it's a tough one for me which they go through. Doing all your best, you've been a work, you're not a work again, and then a host. But you do all your best for able to make your wife either land book or land for the market and do something we go for help in your stability, but your wife not cooperate at all. There are obviously a lot of questions we've been going to ask you. If you don't try to find out why UF they behave this way. A lot of the time we know they happen at homes that we think say we communicate, but we know they communicate. We think say we know why the people them way we they try for make change, they behave the way they behave, but we don't know. And we need for able for Dona for come up with a crucial conversation. Because really, Obafemi, you think say you know why UF they behave this way, but you don't. You don't really know. There's a root cause. Why is she behaving that way? And if you begin take time for dig out and find out, then that's the only time we can able for get an answer for you. If you create that avenue there for you for me to talk to UF, we can begin for dig up and find the answer to the things, to the questions, and where you not able to forget for yourself as to why UF they behave the way they behave. And when we do that, we will find an answer for you, Obafemi and UF, and people them will get similar case. Thank you, Obafemi, for your courage that you get for able to communicate with me, and I hope we answer makes sense to you. And again, yourself can get your moment. You get any question where they confuse you, where you really want an answer to, they're burning at the top of your heart, just send them to Moments with Joe. You can send them by text 030-600-600, WhatsApp. If you say Candy, you want to send me email na info@lbd.sl. We'll wait for your message.
Juliet!
Yes, boss.
Is it here yet?
Not yet, sir.
What? And you know the conference starts tomorrow.
I'm sorry, sir. I'll put a call through to them now.
You better do.
Yellow.
Bakar, my printing should have been delivered since yesterday. What is holding you? My boss is on my neck.
Very, very sorry, madam. We'll try to deliver it in 3 to 4 days time, please.
What? Our conference starts tomorrow.
Juliet!
Did you hear that? Yes, sir.
Juliet, you and your printing problems again. I told you can take all your jobs to C2B Print and Publishing, where you can have all your job done with speed and quality. Their office is located at 20A Old Railway Line, Brookfields, and you can contact them on 030-999-911.
Okay, I'm putting a call through to them right now. Oh, you're here.
Oh yes, that's a call to business printing press for you.
Thank you so much. You just saved my neck.
At a call to business printing press, delivery is express and quality is a perfection. Your satisfaction is guaranteed.
Welcome back. We started by saying at the top of the show that there's a direct relationship between how a nation they prosper and the quality of your educational system. And we also say that tertiary institutions then they drive the quality of a country in educational system. We also know that out of every 10 Peking where they go for taking WAS exam, now only one they able for make a university, because space not there for the one them way make the grade, some they not they make the grade at all, some they make the grade and then parents not even get the money for push them go at the next level. And the question obviously what we ask now the fact that can Africa afford for continue if not the data is where we get. On the rate of enrollment with day as a norm in the world of students between the age of 18 and 24, when that 10 days then supposed for the university, between age of 18 and 24, at that time they picking and they go college and they go tertiary institutions them, whatever they are. Now, Europe and the United States of America, the rate, this age between 18 and 24, 70% of them, they're in a university. 70%. 18 to 24. Graduate from high school, 70%. Out of every 10, 7, they go to university. India is a huge country. 18%. Now, if you consider, say, India, the population over 1 billion, so 18% alone, we they talk about 180 million. The statistics for India now, 18% of Indian population between 18 to 24 that they're in a university. But if you consider, say, India now over 1 billion, nine of them population, over 1 billion, that means say 18%, they at least 180 million of the population. That's a huge number. Very, very huge, very high. The rate for Africa, now 8%. The age between 18 and 24 with the university, now 8%. This is how come I tell you just now about the fact that now 92%. Because if now 8% then na university, I mean say 92% not in a university. On an average point of view, if one for take them out of 10, this is why I said now only 1 out of 10 they able to go na university, na Africa. Nigeria, the picking away they graduate na high school na 1.7 million every year. But the total space where they for the tertiary institutions for take students then na 300,000. So 1.4 million of that figure they can never duck in their face na university under normal circumstances. Kenya they graduate 600,000, space only there for 50,000. And so question, actually, you want for people to know what is that figure for Sierra Leone? We'll bring you that figure. But if we don't get the specific details for Sierra Leone, let's take the Africa ratio, where the Africa ratio say now only 8% of the one them where they graduate in high school, they able for make a university. Let's take the Africa rate for Sierra Leone. It's really tough news. It's really bad news. And the question again says, do we need to change anything? It is also a fact that Africa go get for build 135 universities, them the size of Harvard University, every year for 50 years for make people for catch up with even India. So what this is saying is that if not the normal way for educate people no more, where the West they do, now that kind of way they want for do for build universities, then building, we can motor building, inside people and go. It go take we 50 years for even catch up with India, they own 18% where India gets. Is this an option? And obviously going this route is a big problem for build big universities them, because first of all, we not even get the lecturers them, we go get the PhDs them we require for able for teach them kind of things here. We not get the billions of dollars them where you require for able for do this. And Africa not even get the time. 50 years? We don't even get the time for which how we will take 50 years for build this. We begin a born almost here and go down all this. Can we still keep them out of the high quality education? And when they talk about high quality education, we not just talk about their literary abilities. We also talk about education where they give people and the skills them where they require for survive their life. And this is not to talk about the debate where they go on all over the world, where they criticize traditional tertiary educational system. They say it take too long, it costs too much, and not get guarantee, say it provide jobs for people then. So, should Africa just borrow traditional tertiary educational system, or does this give Africa an opportunity for able for tweak this thing a little and get something we go work for we? Given that we not get the professor them, we not get the money, and we not get the time. Well, for Apple give me some answers to all the boku questions we are just asking us today. A young African, Fred Swanika, been do a presentation we call Reimagining Education in Africa. Now, who that's not Fred? Fred then born in Ghana. He left Ghana when he age 4 years. And every 4 years after that, he lived in a different country. From war, and he go to some country where it could take place by the time they make it, they get for run away back with his family. And so he's lived in a lot of places in the world. In parents, them are half Ghanaians and half Danish. He attend university in America, come back in Africa, and set up what they call the Africa Leadership Academy. The Africa Leadership Academy na pre-university program where they collect young people from all over Africa and give them 2 years of nurturing where then they teach them leadership and entrepreneurship, prepare for send them na big universities them all over the world. In a recent presentation where Fred Swanika do on reimagining tertiary education in Africa, he get 3 arguments them for make. And the first one, now in this. If Africa wants to increase the number of people them we go na university, should we use an approach where now for look for build the big buildings them we then call brick and mortar approach, or could we also look at online options where you don't need for build big buildings them, but through technology you can bring the same quality of education where they happen all over the world inside the village, wherever the school is. So the first argument, brick and mortar versus online. And the second argument, should Africa continue for just to dish out degrees to people for meeting educational requirements, or should universities also insist that students must have skills, life skills, where they require for able to make sure say they're able to get jobs or create jobs for themselves? Degrees versus skills is the second argument. And the third argument now that before we force students them for choose a major subject where then they focus on a university, should we ask them for declare a mission in their life? So a major versus a mission is the third argument. Now let's listen to Fred as he makes a passionate plea on all 3 points, starting with brick and mortar versus online education.
We were teaching a computer science class at this academy, but the class wasn't going so well, so we decided to scrap it. The next term, a few group of students come to us and they say, we still want to do computer science. So we said, well, what do you want us to do? We don't have a teacher anymore. But they kept pushing and they said, we wanted to do computer science. So we said, okay, fine. We'll have you take an online class. We'll do an experiment. But we didn't believe that online education alone would work as well as it should. So we said, we'll have you come together every three times a week and take this class together. So these students would meet and they'd watch these lectures. The class they were taking was a course on Udacity called How to Build a Search Engine. And when they get to a point where one of them is confused, they'll pause the lecture, and the ones who get what's going on will explain to the rest and so forth. Within a few weeks, these kids were learning how to code without a single teacher. And so one of the questions that has been going around in the US and other parts who are thinking about reinventing education is this whole debate, bricks and mortar versus online. I believe you need to do both.
Freddie answer, he says the best universities in the world, they do both. They get a hybrid. Outside they're able to put building and they put big building with laboratories and all things. Outside they're able to put big building. Then they stream online inside there. He says both. You get for use a hybrid. And he shares some stories them in terms of waiting at the benefits. He shows a story where now this place where he don't set up what they call Africa Leadership Academy. They get a whole year where they study, they teach their students them computer science. For the whole year, the class wasn't good at all. They asked the students for make them grade this class, how well it was. Maybe they say 5 to 6 over 10. 50-60%. That's not very good for make you grade a class. But the following year, the students then still insist, say, we want to take computer science. And you know, as I look through my notes where they prepare this, I also they wonder, again, if it's possible for make students in the whole class without lecturer, it means the lecturers then will go for an other tool for FET administration and not make students then suffer. Because only quite recently, students ended up for almost 3 months. How long can we continue that for allow that to happen? It's unconscionable. It further withers the quality of education in this country. Well, you go say not blame the lecturer then, the person and we go catch them we do what they're supposed to do. So, but can students be able for not for make lecturers hold them to ransom by making sure some of the things that when they teach in a university can be brought in online, packaged, prior design, so that teacher no day. They can just pick somebody for lead the class, and you could conduct it in a class. Get technology, get light, and get data inside universities. So Fred say again, brick and mortar versus online. He says we can do combination. We can't get either or. But the online week, so we need for build with online capacity for make students able for study with or without lecturers them in the country. Let's take this break.
Speed.
We make it possible.
Efficient.
Delivery, dispatch, and messenger services.
Reliable.
Motorbike and vehicle delivery services.
From small scale to heavy duty. On land, air, and seas.
We make it possible. Collection and delivery within an hour.
We go all the way to deliver right at your doorstep. What you want or want delivered.
We also do letters, flyers, parcels, and packages to your doorstep.
Unimarks.
Sierra Leone Limited. Call us now. 079-311-311. 044-311-311.
Unimarks. Efficient to the marks.
Welcome back. We'll look at a case for reimagining tertiary education in Africa. Fred, in second argument, should universities be concerned with only issuing degrees, in partial fulfillment of the requirements we then put for the degree of bachelor's in blah, 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 so we don't give this person this degree? Should universities just be focused on making sure students meet requirements for that degree day? When at the exam, students sit the paper when they write? Or should universities also pin and insist, we can't allow you for graduating at this university if you don't get the skills them we require you for make sure say you're able either create jobs, find job, or create job for yourself and for create job for other people. Should universities add this there? So, degrees versus skills. Listen to Fred.
But learning for learning's sake, or learning or developing skills that will actually get you a job. I went to a liberal arts college called Macalester College in Minnesota. Very cold, kind of like today. And I remember Macalester is a typical bleeding heart liberal arts institution, kind of like Berkeley. And so those of us who studied 3 subjects, computer science, economics, and business, were sort of seen as the bad people who were selling out to the man. And we actually got internships, and we actually got jobs after college and so forth. Whereas the ones who were studying, whatever they wanted to study, but wouldn't necessarily give them a job. They thought that, that was the holy grail. I believe that colleges need to do both. If you think about the fact that today you spend $240,000 a year to get a university degree in the USA, that is a crime if you can't get a job at the end of the day. So as I thought, could you build an institution where the first year, everyone got a foundation, of skills that would allow them to get a job? So how do you work in teams? How do you think critically? How do you lead yourself? How do you lead others? Those are the things that really matter.
Fred, they recommend, say, universities, tertiary institutions, and for do two things. Number one, in the first year of university, every student must be allowed for make them get the foundational skills we require for surviving our life, paper or non-paper. The first year must be made a foundation year for everybody across the board for learn life skills where they require for survive, whether they get paper or not. And then skills here also include creative thinking. We're not creative in we thinking. Most of the teaching where they go on with schools, from primary to university, now wrote. Teacher taken from the textbook, he write on the blackboard, you take and write on your exercise book. Teacher set an exam, it ask you question where directly you need for look at your exercise book. For find the answer and write them back, give the teacher, and you don't complete, you don't pass out in university. Critical thinking is not there. By the time when teacher begin ask you, well, we don't write this in your book, but take a scenario in a Bombay market and answer them for me on the basis of the principles that we teach you in a school. It's a different thing all over. It's critical thinking. How do we solve the traffic business? If you want for people to do that, how do we pull the people in the street? And critical thinking, creative thinking, problem-solving skills. These are so valuable. If I take two students, I lock them in a room, I put a ballot paper and give you 6 problems they will for solving in this country. Imagine the person in the first class. You want to solve the problem then, for pull the market woman and come out in a treat. For make sure say free tongue clean. And for make sure say electricity is sustained. If I give them 3 problems then you get first class. Can you begin to break the issue down for me and come up with solutions where people can act on? The guys that will do political science, can you give them that question? If you give them, would they answer it? No, people are not taught to think critically. So problem solving, how do you solve problems? It's all part of the same. Leadership skills, how do we build teams? How do we lead teams? If we are part of a team, how do we operate in a team where we can carry everybody together with we? These skills, Fred, they say they should teach everybody the foundation here, where everybody, no matter whether or not medicine you want to go read, everybody must be taught the first year in university, those skills that is required for make you able for live a life, get a job, or create a job, whether you get the paper or not. So ultimately, for let you able to achieve this, you don't necessarily need people then with big PhDs and for able to do this. You need mid-career professionals. You need executives and we don't retire. Nobody could best able to teach life skills than the people them we don't get experience in the marketplace. We don't recruit people, don't sack people, they don't know what in they recruit people them for, what in they look, and what in the reason where they make them they sack people, what in the reason where they use for promote people. While until you get people who don't go through all of this in their life, then they're the mid-career or they're not being retired, coming to your class for teach that foundational year, it will be massive. So we are almost at the end of the show with a look Reimagining Tertiary Education in Africa by Fred Swanika. And we want to look at Fred in third argument. In argument say, should we push students then for choose a major whether they study in a university, or should we ask them to declare a mission in life and make university help them for take the steps, learn all the things that they need for do for accomplish that mission they in life. Let's listen to Fred.
How many of you are doing today exactly what you studied in university? How many of you? Wow, 3 or 4 of you. So why are we forced to choose a major in college? When we go to college, you choose one, or if you're lucky, you get to do double major. The fact is that most of what you study today actually doesn't translate into what you do eventually in the world.
Well, just repeating Fred in question, how many of us were there today, they watch me, they listen to me, go university, where they do waiting, you've been learning at university? Well, the one that we read law, go say yes, I've been doing. The one that we read engineering, go say yes, I do engineering. And then you get a few others. I read mass communication at school, so I do, and mass communication I do, I mean, an editor for newspaper, and all that kind of things. And the majority of the time, waiting people do at university, not saying than they do in everyday life. The fact is that most of what we study in a university does not ultimately translate to what we do in life for several reasons. Things are changing all the time. Second point is the fact that you didn't go through a proper counseling session for decide what you go do at university. It sounded easy to you, so you want for them. You not been getting grade for go read other things, so you go read what you read. You get your friends them way we want for do this, and everybody around you, your friends them all want for read this. So you say go read that. So at the end of the day, you could get out of university and come out with a paper which not even relevant to what thing you want for doing a life. So Fred they say in exchange for all of this, why not get people for declare a mission in life? Imagine somebody go say, I intimated this earlier, says, you know what, one of the things that we get passion for in our life, now for make sure say me people am self-sufficient na Kasimbara or even Cambia district. You know, imagine I'm from that end and says, well, for Cambia district, self-sufficiency. And when I go to university and when I register and begin to make course, all what I do at university is to be able to study all the components and we require for make Cambia self-sufficient. What in the soil turn like there? What in they grow best there? So that if even a Jala at the study agriculture, it's agriculture on how I will go change some things na Cambia. How would I make the district self-sufficient? And use your own district and use Usa you come out as a community. This is just one example of things we use. But imagine if that's what just you're passionate about. You hate for going to your village and see how people is scramble and they struggle and says, me one land book, this is my mission to be able to make sure my village self-sufficient. And imagine if you spend 4 years in a university learning all how to do. I must involve agriculture, I must involve entrepreneurship, I must involve attitudinal change when a psychology now you need for do. You learn all the things them, all what you learn at university, you curate them, call and curate curation. You just put them all together. Because if I put all of them skills they also together, I could go to my village after I left school, and I go down to these things and so massively past the end of vote me chairman for the council or whatever if you get some political ambitions. But this is very, very important argument with Fred they make. Don't get students to just choose the major. It's get them for choose a mission in their life and get university for help them for achieve that mission there. So let's round up. 3 things Fred talk about. Brick and mortar versus online education, both. Just give people a certificate, say they don't get 1 degree, versus skills, he say both. And finally, do you just get them for define a major, a subject to them they study in a school? He says, or a mission, he says both. Get a major, get a mission. If we join them 3 together, he says, that's the way we can reimagine education in Africa, and we can increase the quality of education, increase the number of people that we're able to access tertiary education in Africa, improves the quality of education, and improve the level of prosperity in Africa. And also Sierra Leone, because Sierra Leone is part of Africa. When they say this, we can't even touch outside these boundaries of this country, but we can touch the boundaries, within the boundaries of Sierra Leone, and bring them change here, so come here. Well, this is all we have time for you for today's show, but we want to hear from you. Send me text, call we 030-600-600, introduce another number, 030-600-800. The number then feedback, so 600-600 or 600-800 by text, by WhatsApp, by whatever message you for send, and send them to we. You could also look for we on Facebook, Joe Abbas Motivates, and Life by Design. Look for them also there, post your message continuously. You want to send me email, we're on info@lbd.sl. Them videos there, they're all there on YouTube. Go there, download them, and listen, and continue for listening to them. On behalf of our sponsors, Ask Free Cell, A Call to Business, Ministry of Youth Affairs, and the National Youth Commission, we want to close with this. You've been listening with today, and you don't even go to university. They say, well, when I left, I don't go to university. This message is for you. Don't give up on your life for nobody. Whether you go to university or not, your life is in your hands. If you continue to believe in yourself, if you continue to wake up every day If you continue 4, develop and work on yourself. Learn skills. You didn't go to university, learn skills. There are people here who not go university, get a lot of skills, then they make money past the one they will go university. Ask them and meet them at Bombay Market. Your life is in your hands. Don't give up on yourself. Work every day. There's a place for you in this life. Don't live your life by accident. Live your life by design. God bless you.